welcome back to this two-part Walk the Talk, a very special two-part Walk the Talk with former RBI Governor and economist Dr. Yaga Reddy. We concluded the last part just when it was becoming really interesting in terms of how does a central bank deal with the sovereign, which is the government, where does it give in, where does it fight back, and Dr. Reddy had promised us to tell us some stories from his lifetime and also give us some advice for present times. Dr. Reddy, welcome back to Walk the Talk. You know, you chose this park. I believe there's a story behind this park in your neighborhood in Hyderabad.
Yeah, actually
They tried to name it after you.
No.
What happened?
They threatened.
They threatened. Then what happened?
But I was saved at the last minute.
Oh, that's because you put your foot down.
No, I asked them to wait till I die. And after that they'll forget.
See, sir,
But it has got a better
name
now. It's called Anushka Park.
Anushka
is a cine actress who stays in the
Anushka Sharma?
Anushka Sharma, is it?
She's a Bollywood actress,
Yes.
but maybe she acts in Telugu.
In
films
Telugu also.
She lives somewhere here?
From Mangalore area. She belongs to Mangalore.
That is someone else, and this Anushka I think is from UP. But so she lives somewhere here.
Yes, in the neighborhood.
Maybe these apartments. So it's called Anushka Park.
Anushka Park.
All right, sir.
So that's better than Venugopal Reddy Park.
Well, it's Venugopal Reddy is more durable, but and we don't have access to this Anushka. So for us, you are the most important. So, sir, welcome back to Anushka Park. Not quite the Reddy Park. You keep saying in the book also that when you have a situation of some tension with the sovereign as RBI governor, you resist for as long as you can. You should know your limits and you should know your ability. Your two Telugu expressions you use.
Yeah. Haddu Paddu.
Haddu Paddu. Haddu is the limit, limitation.
And you measure.
Measure.
No, the way I look, in fact, I've explained this. First, my principle is autonomy is never granted. It is grabbed.
Yes.
So whenever there is a window of opportunity, you grab it. Independence is never granted. In our situation, it has to be negotiated.
Sir, when you entered the North Block, where you worked for a long time, there is that inscription on the entrance. Freedom never descends on a people.
Right.
Something like it's a gift that has to be earned. Right. And I sometimes think that, you know, the British put it here, can we get a sandblaster and remove it? But what you're saying is true. You have to grab it.
So, and third is that you have to earn it by the quality of advice that you give. See, ultimately the central banker is an important advisor to the government, independent advisor, well-wisher advisor with no interest other than the loyalty to the country and to the constitution. So the way I was always doing was, when there were differences, I went on trying to negotiate, explain it. There are a couple of occasions where at the end of it all, we felt that it was wrong, but the sovereign is determined to do it. At that point of time, we either try to minimize the loss and then concede and do it the way it has to be done. But again, I would say, assert our right to dissent.
So at a time, as we talked about in the first part, when globally skepticism is being expressed about credibility of RBI, which you resent greatly, which I resent, but fact is that we have been even more critical, Indian media, Indian analysts, even those like us who don't know economics, except nothing in life can be ceteris paribus, which economists presume. At this point, is there something that the finance minister and the government can do? You are an older statesman, you can't escape that responsibility.
No, let me be very frank. Let me say, even assuming that I was governor at this stage, imagine, and if this is the position, I would have gone and appealed to the finance minister and the prime minister.
Right.
Sir, for heaven's sake, convince the country that RBI is acting independently.
You would have done it.
Because it's good for the country, it's good for the government. And therefore, I think the restoring a better stature for the central bank is the joint responsibility of the central bank and the government. They have to be together in this.
So, sir, in your experience, when you give politicians such advice, do they listen or do they?
I think unless it's there is a hidden agenda, I think they would accept it.
They would accept it.
Unless there is some hidden agenda.
Because, sir, this was a humiliating moment, I think, for all of us when Governor had to leave after a conference in Gujarat from the back door with media chasing him and really saying things which I thought were uncivil to him.
It is sad, yes, definitely it is sad. That should not happen. Irrespective of the personalities, the most important thing, of course, I'm sorry, I should withdraw that, because once it's a central bank, you cannot say that the personalities don't count. It is governor-centric. Governor-centric. So, if there is some feeling that governor has not been treated with due respect, so it will be a reflection on the institution. Yes, but I think something, let me put it again back, something has to be done by everyone.
By everyone. To restore the credibility of the central bank.
Including the government and the central bank itself.
So, sir, put on your, Mr. Chidambaram has said something. I know that you have a history of sparring. You also have a history of collaborating beautifully for a long time, in many capacities.
Yes, in this book I have devoted 1.5 pages.
Yes, because you worked in the finance area of finance ministry from mid-70s onwards. Right. You worked as deputy secretary under Dr. Manmohan Singh, right. Then director, then joint secretary, and then going up to secretary, and then coming as deputy governor, which was. And
finally governor when he was prime.
And finally governor when he was prime minister. So Chidambaram particularly, he made a statement the other day. In fact, at this Congress convention, and he said that RBI is now being treated like another department of the government, and its credibility and independence is being destroyed by this government. Basically, he said he made it part of a larger allegation of the government destroying credibility of institutions, but RBI specifically, he said, does it sound to you like it's being treated like a department of the government?
Perhaps, now coming to think of it, I was lucky because in the government there are two ex-governors. Prime Minister was a governor. Rangarajan
was a governor.
So therefore, whenever serious discussions took place, the finance minister was on one side, and there were two ex-governors.
So they had institutional loyalties.
Yes. So I must say that in that sense, in the relative equations,
right.
In fact, one of the chapters I named it as
right.
many economists.
Right.
So I think maybe I was lucky at that point.
That they were there, and they always weighed in on the side of the bank in these situations.
Well, they could understand that.
So you think the bank needs an advocate like that in the system today?
Yeah, yes, maybe, but my hope is that this is such an extraordinary event. It's such an extraordinary event that the unfortunate damage to the image hopefully is only confined to this particular incident. That will be my hope, and therefore there is an opportunity also to treat it that way. So here is something happened, but it is in the context of unprecedented problem. Way forward at least, we should make sure that necessary better, proper atmosphere is created.
So let me be a mischievous journalist with full disclosure.
Which we always been, okay.
So I'm making full disclosure now.
Okay.
At least one honest thing I'm doing. One of the two pieces of advice to Urjit Patel, either Urjit Patel, wake up, smell the coffee, right? You have a reputation to guard, personal and institutional. Or second, Urjit Patel, there's been a bit of a mess, but be a good bureaucrat, duck, close your eyes and nose, this wave will pass and then come out.
No, even if it passes, he has to convince people that it has passed.
Right. So he has to still wake up and smell the coffee.
Yes. That's my limited point, because it won't go away by itself.
Right.
But it provides an opportunity for you to say that there's a new chapter, explain the past, but there has to be a break, and to show that now, what was the explanation in the past? So effort is needed, let me put it this way, effort is needed by the RBI, effort is needed by the governor in particular, by the government, and I would even say politically also. I think RBI should not be drawn too much into the political controversies. It's not good. It has never been there in the